Hi, I'm Barbara Slade, and welcome to the Story Academy. One thing that is really a problem for people, writers, screenwriters, authors, is how do you come up with dimensional characters? Especially in the children's industry, which I have been involved in for many years. It's really, really a problem. So many, you know, great ideas, production companies, Bibles, even shows, the characters are so flat and so just stereotyped. And it's really starting to drive me crazy. And I don't want to be involved in those kind of shows, and neither should you. And so much of the reason why projects don't get off the ground is because the characters are not interesting and they don't have enough layers and enough depth. So there are real tricks of the trade on how to develop strong characters. And I'm just going to give you a few right now. And they all can be done in your little 10-minute exercises that you'll be doing in your favorite cafe. So when you come up with some ideas for characters, here's some things you should consider. The first thing is you want to ask yourself, the basics. How old are they? What do they do? What's their life like? What do they want? Do they have any secrets? What are their dreams? These are all questions you can ask yourself. But here's another really great trick that I actually got from watching a documentary on a really great show on the writers that did Dad's Army. And they said that they sat down and they came up with a list no, it wasn't that. It wasn't that at all. It was Inspector Morse. That's what I heard. These writers who wrote Inspector Morse, they came up with this three characteristics, three attributes that defined Inspector Morse. And what it was, they decided was he was a recovering alcoholic, that he loved opera, and he could never say he was sorry. And I thought that was really brilliant. So here's a little exercise for you. Sit down for 10 minutes in a cafe with your writing book and a pen and come up with just a list of attributes. So let me do that right now. Okay, I'm sure you could do this better than I can right now. So attributes, feels shy, often feels shy, talks too loud, has an easy time making friends, wears glasses, is really smart, loves popcorn, has dreams of being an athlete. You see, I'm just making this up. And to be honest, they're not the best ideas. But if you sit down there with your paper and your pen and you do this every day, 5 days, 10 minutes a day, and you just write lists and lists and lists of attributes. Then when it comes time to coming up with a character, you just go through your list and you think, loves opera, can never say you're sorry, recovering alcoholic. Maybe not for a kid's show, but it's a really great trick on how to come up with great characters. Attributes. Find attributes that sometimes belong together and sometimes don't. Like even with Inspector Morse, when you think about those three attributes, it's really brilliant. He's an inspector. He sees a lot of blood and guts. So for him to be a recovering alcoholic, that's kind of a good choice. He's got a lot of stress and a lot of pain in his job. And, if his temptation is to have a drink and he's not going to be able to do that, that would be a hard thing. That causes conflict, internal conflict. If he loves opera, that's a very highly evolved form of music. And it shows that he really has a love of beauty. And then also, if he's dealing with people that are criminals and kill people. That's not a good thing. That's not a high moral code. You would think that as an inspector, he would have a very high moral code. But if he has a hard time saying, I'm sorry, and taking responsibility for himself, that's kind of an interesting choice. So anyway, this is an exercise I hope you will start tomorrow or today. Make lists of attributes, and that will really help you develop, interesting multi-dimensional characters. More to come.